Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. Another fantastic segment between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso closes out a Smackdown Hell in a Cell go-home show that wasn't a complete and total disaster, much like the season premiere was last week. They did get a couple of things wrong. They did get a couple of things right, but for the most part, even though there was some good things here, it felt like the same old suck down that we are used to seeing, and we are going to talk about all of it and so much more right here and right now. My name is Nick Nightmare. You are watching the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show Smackdown Review and Reaction Show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
Thank God that it was not as bad as last week, and we are used to SmackDown being the better of the two shows as of late, especially since Roman Reigns has made this heel turn, and they have me on the edge of my seat anticipating this Sunday's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and it's the most predictable match on the card. There is no way on God's green earth that Jey Uso is gonna come out with the win in an I Quit Hell in a Cell match against this version of Roman Reigns. You know this, I know this, yet the story that is laying behind it, the performances by both of these guys is making this must-see television, and I can't wait to see how this ends up. Roman Reigns dropped the big consequences tonight, and they were huge. This is one of the things that I loved the most about this episode of SmackDown was the way it went off the air as the Usos set up Roman Reigns. Yes, not one, but both of the Uso brothers had a little trickery involved and got one up on Roman Reigns, but he would have the last laugh before the night is over. I was absolutely on the edge of my seat. I just could not wait. I cannot wait for Sunday to see how this concludes. And if Jey Uso loses, which he will, and quits to Roman Reigns, which he will, inside the Hell in a Cell, they have to, both brothers, either fall in line and take orders without question from their tribal chief, their head of the table cousin, and if they refuse to do so, they are going to be excommunicated from the family. Talk about high stakes. It's about way more than the Universal Championship now, and I'm into it. I'm totally into it, just like I'm into a couple of the other good things they did this evening. We'll talk about them first, since there's not that many good things. There's way more bad than good, as usual, but I very much enjoyed Bianca Belair's debut match. Sure, it was at the expense of Zelina Vega, and you have both of these girls coming over to this brand. Why you would sacrifice one for the other, that's one of the things that you want to question in this moment. But Bianca Belair, deserving of this moment, deserving of this win. I'm still on the fence with it, though, because I don't want to put all my eggs in the basket and then have the WWE come along and stomp all my eggshells, mix it into a disgusting omelet without picking out all the eggshells, and then forcing me to eat it as I watch Bianca Belair go down the same road as people like Keith Lee and everybody else that has come up from NXT. They come out, they make a big splash, they get a few wins or something or other, and then they just go down that proverbial toilet drain that is the WWE, getting stuck in mid-card purgatory, or I don't know if you would call it that for the women's division, but I have to be concerned about the future. But if we're going to isolate this match and isolate this one episode, I was very happy with Bianca Belair tonight. Just like I was over the moon at the fact that Shorty G quit. Shorty G was eviscerated by Lars Sullivan, who has been called the Freak more times than half of the children in any high school across the country combined in 1 year's time by Michael Cole in one match. The Freak, oh, the Freak is shrinked by the Freak, the Freak, a freak, now, freak. I don't want to fucking hear the word freak from Michael Cole anymore. but it's going to be the only thing he can say when we see Lars Sullivan. Lars Sullivan beat Chad Gable, very similar to the way Bianca Belair just easily disposed of Zelina Vega, which kind of means that they had the same match twice. But in this instance, with Chad Gable returning because Shorty G quit after his ass beaten, and then they had this little interview with Chad Gable in the back. He's like, no, man, people can't achieve what they want. I can't tell these people that they could be whatever they want to be because it's bullshit. Shorty G is dead. Shorty G is no more. And Chad Gable, an Olympian, he's the guy that can do what he wants. He's the guy that can get things done. And that's the guy that's coming back to SmackDown. It has been long overdue. And literally, no matter what Chad Gable does next, it's a step up from Shorty G. We never have to see those stupid basketball shorts and the basketball tops and the wristbands and all the stupid short jokes and the Shorty G crap ever again. Because Chad Gable is back. And that's exciting. That's a good thing. How they went about it, not so great, but this was good. Just like everything that they did with Sasha Banks and Bayley tonight. Bayley has been a Karen over the last couple of weeks, and she has been she's been at her finest as she's been just completely bitch mode. She knows that she's going to get her ass kicked at Hell in a Cell. She's trying everything she can to not sign that contract, but Sasha Banks wrapped her head around a steel chair, choking her out almost with the steel chair, forcing her hand and making her sign that contract, which means Bayley's days are done. She is merely hours away at this point from losing that championship to the boss, and then we could get on the road to Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks, which is definitely WrestleMania material. Will they go down that road? Who knows? For all we know, Sasha Banks will lose it back to Bayley on SmackDown following the pay-per-view this Sunday because they don't like to give Sasha Banks title reigns. If this title reign lasts more than a month, it's probably going to be the longest title reign she's ever had. She deserves it. Maybe Bayley takes a little time off. She's been running with the engine hard for over a year as champion. Probably the woman who's wrestled the most out of the entire division. Maybe she needs a break. Go away for a month or so. Let Sasha reign supreme. And then come back and do something else. Maybe Bayley comes back and she goes to Raw. I don't care. I don't need to see Sasha versus Bayley ever again after this Sunday. But I do need to see Sasha Banks get her comeuppance and win this matchup. The time for Bayley is over. It's time for Sasha Banks. I almost was going to say, it's boss time, but I am not going to emulate Michael Cole. And that was all that there was that was good on this show. And probably in total, it took up about 20 minutes of a 2-hour show, these 4 particular great things that went on. The rest of the show, however, was questionable at best. Kicking everything off tonight with a Kevin Owens show that had Daniel Bryan as the special guest, and I thought this was going to immediately kick off Daniel Bryan into the direction of the Intercontinental Champion. You know that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have a history. I wouldn't care if Kevin Owens got involved as well, and we've seen these 3 men involved in a program for the Intercontinental Championship, but instead what we get is jokey stuff, which I guess is okay. Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan, both great on the mic. It's not that this wasn't entertaining. I just don't agree with where it's going. I don't need to see Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens as a tag team. Them being put together in a tag team says to me that the WWE really had no plan when they decided to get Bryan back on SmackDown and to bring Kevin Owens over to SmackDown in the draft. So what do we do with these 2 guys, Vince? Oh, put them together. We don't have tag teams. So that's what they did. There are no tag teams. The other 3 tag teams came out and had to involve Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens to make a 4th tag team. Now, there was some funny back and forth. Kevin Owens mentioning that they could be Team Hell KO, in which Daniel Bryan replied, no, that would actually make you Kane's partner, not mine. little funny quips here and there, but I don't like the direction. I don't need Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan being the new Randy Orton and Edge, or any of these other makeshift tag teams we've seen of two superstars just thrown together on a whim because we have no idea what to do with them. So now, since they're talking about tag team nonsense, we got Ziggler and Rude coming out, we got the Sushi Bar coming out, and then there's this 8-man tag team matchup scheduled. Now, it's not like we didn't just see an 8-man tag team match on Monday. 5 days later, here we are, opening up with another 8-man tag team match. The second one in 1 week's time, and one that was completely and totally unnecessary. One that could have been held off until the Survivor Series, which is a few weeks away at this point. And you're doing 8-man tags just for the hell of it? Nothing is special anymore. Except for Montez Ford's Frog Splash. Holy shit! Holy shit, I'm going to go on record right now and say that he may have the prettiest frog splash I have ever seen. I'm sorry, Eddie. I'm sorry, everybody else that's ever delivered a frog splash. This guy gets so up in the air and comes down with such force. It's a graceful, beautiful thing to behold. And I have to give him props for that. The match was fun. It had its spots. Everybody got their moves in. But it was pointless. It was pointless. So we're going to prove how Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens can work as a team by putting them in this 8-man tag with the tag team. Waste. Waste of our time. Just like Law and Otis. Many of you guys probably waiting to see, what does Nick think about Law and Otis? Everybody else in the community is all like, this was great. This was funny. I didn't get too mad by this. I thought this was just fine. I thought this was crap. I thought this was overly long. 3 segments? This one thing spanned across 3 segments, and every segment it went to made it worse than the last. This whole thing was full of bad comedy, weird cameos. Rey Mysterio has had nothing to do with anything, but he's a witness in here because he was part of the Money in the Bank match way back when, 9 years ago, when we had the Money in the Bank match. What the hell is Rey Mysterio doing now? Otis won it fair and square, so we all know that. We all know that. This whole courtroom scene is ridiculous. The minute I saw Bradshaw as the judge, I was just like, all right, this is going to be awful. This is going to be just awful. And it was. Asuka was another key witness. Why? Why? Is it funny to you to see a person of another ethnicity who speaks a foreign language speaking their language? Is that supposed to be fucking funny? Watching Asuka speak in Japanese, that's a comedy to you? Or is this just a woman speaking in Japanese with some intensity and ferocity? Why are they making a joke out of the fact that she can't speak English when she can actually speak some English? I don't understand. It's not funny to me. It's not funny. Even her little holla, holla, holla at the end was not funny. It was a waste of time. And it's insulting. I think it's an insult. Watching a Japanese person speak Japanese is not funny. What did she have to do with any of this? I don't know. But apparently Vince thinks it is funny. Everybody else thought it was funny too. I didn't think it was funny. I've seen way too much of Asuka doing her little shit. I don't need to see it anymore. All I need from Asuka is in-ring, ass-kicking action. I don't need this shit. This bullshit comedy. Ridiculous. Who else was there? Ron Simmons was the bailiff for JBL. And Teddy Long showed up to tell us all he had to take a leak. Teddy Long had to take a leak. That was his contribution to the Law and Otis skit. I gotta pee, player. This was okay to all of you? This was good stuff? This was just as bad as Jericho and MJF. I hear everybody talking about how great this fucking segment was. These guys are walking around for 3 minutes singing like a couple of fucking morons. Two of the best heels in the business. Singing like morons. And now I gotta sit through 3 segments of Law and Otis. Ridiculous. And in the end, this whole thing was just to get The Miz a match. I thought this lawsuit was going to give The Miz the briefcase. I thought he was suing him for possession of Money in the Bank. He was suing Otis and brought him to court to get a match? You need to go to court to get a match now? Couldn't he have just went to fucking Adam Pearce and his stupid bald head and said, listen, I want the Money in the Bank. Make Otis fight me and put the Money in the Bank up for grabs. Could have been that simple. But no, instead we have another match added to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So now there's 5 in total. And we got The Miz versus Otis for the Money in the Bank briefcase. And if The Miz wins, I'm out. We've seen this already. I don't need The Miz walking around with another Money in the Bank briefcase. Otis is already dead with it anyway. When you look at the 2 champions on both shows, Otis isn't beating Roman Reigns, and Otis isn't cashing in on Drew McIntyre, so it's a dead briefcase right now. So all of this is for nothing. They should have had him cash it in already on Braun Strowman or something. And already have lost it back to Roman Reigns. How much do you think people would have hated Roman Reigns if he came out and destroyed Otis and took the title from him? Could have went about it a whole bunch of different ways, but none of this is interesting to me. And another thing that I don't like is when a guy like Seth Rollins and a guy like Buddy Murphy go out there and have a fucking balls out match. These guys went out there and killed it. It was a great fucking match. There's only 2 things wrong with it. 1, I don't care about anything underlying the match. I'm bored with this Mysterio, Murphy, Aaliyah love triangle bullshit. It bored the shit out of me on Raw, and we don't need it. We didn't need it to carry over. We didn't want it to carry over, but now it is. And everybody, oh, this was really good. This was great. No, the match, yes, was really good. You know what sucked about it? The minute the Mysterios got involved. This could have just been a one-on-one. Man versus man, settle it up, but no. After Buddy Murphy loses to Seth Rollins, Aaliyah wants to go out and save them. She's arguing with Tiny Dad and Giant Baby Son, and all this whole little back and forth goes on in the back, and then Aaliyah comes out to save the day, and then Ray and Dominic are coming out like, what are you doing? And it gets all blown up into this whole overblown, long and drawn out fucking soap opera segment that's boring. That's boring. Aaliyah doesn't look like she should even be with a Buddy Murphy. It just rubs me all the wrong ways, and I hate everything about it. And it sucks that such a great match was brought down by the storyline that's accompanying it. And the other thing that was wrong with it was that it should have been on Sunday's show. You only have 5 matches. Why do we need this match tonight? Why couldn't this have been booked for Hell in a Cell? And you do a go-home segment tonight. You have Rollins attack Murphy, or vice versa, leading into the Hell in a Cell Sunday. But instead, you blew this match out. You had Murphy lose, legitimately lose, so there's like no reason to even go forward with this. He lost clean to Seth Rollins on a Smackdown. When this, considering all the hype and all the excitement they want you to have, due to the Rey Mysterio love bullshit with his daughter, it's just dragging it down. It's dragging it down. It makes it absolutely worthless. And that was pretty much everything you needed to know about last night's SmackDown as we're heading into Hell in a Cell tomorrow. Let's go up and down the official card. After the Kevin Owens show kicked things off with a bang, Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens and the Street Profits, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, defeated the Sushi Bar and Ziggler and Rudolph. Nobody cares. All right? Law and Otis's first segment was after that, and then we got Bianca Belair defeating Zelina Vega. Lars Sullivan defeated Shorty G. Bayley and Sasha's segment, which was fantastic. Law and Otis segment 2, which was not, followed by segment 3 after the commercial break, which made me want to shoot myself in the head because The Miz paid off JBL, who was going to rule in favor of Otis because, common sense, but then The Miz gives him a briefcase full of cash and JBL rules in favor of The Miz. Now we have to watch another Miz versus Otis match tomorrow night. Who gives a shit? Then, as we were just talking about, Seth Rollins defeated Buddy Murphy in a really good match that should have been held off for tomorrow's pay-per-view. And then Tribal Consequences, which was the greatest thing they did all of last night. Roman Reigns is on fire with this heel gimmick. Jey Uso's got the underdog thing going for him 100%. Right before Roman Reigns hit the ring to reveal Tribal Consequences, Jey Uso was up on the Titantron, or so we thought, as he revealed and pulled down his mask to show that it was Jimmy Uso the whole time, delivering a very good promo against Roman Reigns so that Jey could attack him from behind, from the crowd, came out of nowhere, got the upper hand on Roman Reigns, delivered a super kick, and then made it out of there. He got a few hits in himself, Roman Reigns. The steel chair was involved, whatever, but Roman Reigns got by the Usos, and he didn't appreciate it. Once all the smoke cleared and the Usos were celebrating on the ramp, Roman was left in the ring, and he's like, you guys think this is funny? You guys think this is all fun and games? But I'm the guy. I'm the head of the table. I'm the one that feeds our family. I'm the one that's responsible for the future. And you're not going to take that from me. You're not going to make me quit. If I quit, I lose that. I lose everything. I lose everything for our family, and I lose the Universal Championship. But if you lose, Jey, if you lose, you bow down. You fall in line and you take orders. And if you refuse to do that, you're out of the family. To which case the Usos were like, well, who are you? Who are you to make that decision? And there's just this real palpable tension, and you could cut it with a knife, and it's exciting. And it's what I'm looking forward to seeing the most tomorrow night at Hell in a Cell. Sasha and Bayley, gonna be a good one. Roman and Jey, despite the predictableness, going to be something great. And if it is going to end up being the birth of the family, the Samoan Mafia, this thing that I've been pushing on this channel that longtime viewers would know from 2-3 years ago. This was my idea. Something that I put out there to save Roman Reigns. Samoan Mafia. I love it. Bring in Nia Jax. Who cares? She's part of the family. Bring in Tamina. Bring in Naomi. Bring in anybody else you want. It's great. It doesn't need Paul Heyman, but I'm starting to get used to him being there. This is going to be the launching point for that, and I'm excited for it. There's no way Jey Uso wins this match. Roman Reigns is never going to quit. Not inside a Hell in a Cell. Not for nothing. And it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun. So I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow's show. And you guys should be looking forward to it as well. And looking forward to the review, which will be up following the show tomorrow night. We are going to be here bringing the hammer down on anything and everything that's going to be wrong with Hell in a Cell tomorrow night. Hopefully not too much. SmackDown easily digestible tonight, but still full of a lot of stuff that could give you indigestion if you let it. And I do. I let it agitate me. We watch it every week. It's disgusting sometimes, but hey, you got to get through the bad to get to the good. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you got tonight's SmackDown as we're heading to Hell in a Cell. Thank you guys all so much for joining me. We're going to get on out of here. We're going to go and play some video games. I'm not sure what I want to play. Maybe some Rogue Squadron. Maybe I'll get back into some Mafia. I don't know. I just need to do something to end my night with some firepower as I get geared up for tomorrow. What are you guys playing? Any good games that I should know about? Let me know in the comments section down below. What do you think is going to happen at Hell in a Cell? Let me know that as well. What did you think of tonight's SmackDown? Comment section. Hello, it's there for you guys to vent your frustrations. Do you think I was too easy on SmackDown? Maybe you wanted me to come down a little bit harder because everybody else was jerking off all over this show. Not this guy. I keeps it real. Just for you. My name is Nick Nightmare. This is the team. Thor, the Sledgehammer, the official Sledgehammer of the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. His tag team partner, the World Heavyweight Champion of all the microphones in all the world. Mr. Blue, the Snowball, the most important member of the team, as always, each and every one of you. And now's your part to do your job. Hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed today's show and agreed with anything or everything that I had to say. Make sure you share this video with each and every one of your wrestling buddies all over the wrestling world. And most importantly, if you are not already a member of the newest, coolest faction of fans, growing more and more by the day, that collectively call themselves the Sledgehead Army, hit that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss anything that we do here on this channel, from our Sledgehammer series to our constant reviews of Monday Night Raw to special WWE videos that we throw up occasionally. I got one in the works. I'm going to be dropping it on you soon. You need to be subscribed and notified. Hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss anything. Thank you guys all so much for being here. That is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for the Hell in a Cell review right here on your new favorite wrestling show, the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show, only on Sledgehammer TV, right here on YouTube.com.